Hello and welcome to this quick guide on getting your stuff from one galaxy to the next on SectorSpace. For the uninitiated, SectorSpace is a top-down space RPG where you can run a fleet, build your own stations, colonize planets, fight enemies, explore the void, build ships, and craft or loot over 10,000 items. If you know games like Escape Velocity Nova, Endless Sky, Star Sonata, and other 2D space sims, you'll be right at home. It even has some inspiration from Terraria, so if that sounds intriguing, just keep it in mind. As the game is on constant development, there will be times where moving to a new galaxy will be recommended or even required. Watch out for warnings and notes on Discord and patch notes for this. If you're familiar with Terraria, SectorSpace works similarly in that your character and your worlds are two separate concepts. You can freely load up a character in another world, and the idea is that everything about them will be preserved. Your character, level, and skills will be safe. Your notes will also be preserved, as well as your map markers. Things like communications, missions, faction reputation are still in development currently and are subject to change, but the dev has noted that the future databank feature will persist with your characters. When you change galaxies, your fleet will require some time to be rebuilt in order to respawn. As usual, once the fleet is ready, just dock to any friendly stations and your ships will join you. Their cargo and equipment is preserved. Of course, your Drydock ships will also be preserved. When you first join a different galaxy, you need to pay the fee to set your Drydock on the new world. So if you have excess ships from another galaxy, you can dock these there before moving. Let's talk about cargo. When your cargo hold is full, you cannot jump out. You can distribute cargo and overflow your fleet ships if you want to keep moving and jumping. If you're using your fleet ships as extra cargo space, make sure to protect them as they'll be flying very slowly behind you. If this changes in the future, make good use of the split evenly to fleet button. Note that when you dry dock ships, their overflowing inventory is transferred to you, so that cannot be used for quantum storage across saves. You have to keep cargo on you or on your fleet ships. If you have too much, you won't even be able to move on the new save, so distribute accordingly. Or you can quintupile everything on a single ship by taking control of it through the fleet management interface, grabbing everything you want with it, swapping back to your main ship, moving to the next save and waiting for it to spawn. If you stay docked, the ship will spawn in docked, which is just much safer. Just make sure to do so on a station with a storage bay. Storing your stuff in NPC stations isn't free though, and you can see the cost right up at the lobby. 100k an hour for all of my loot to be truly safe in the origin sector is actually very cheap. But if you're further in the game, I'd recommend either leaving your fleet behind in protected space or temporarily dumping its inventory on an NPC station, then rushing on to build your own station so you don't have to pay fees or taxes. Taxes will cost you a lot once you get into crafting, especially ship crafting. If you do so, you can even bring your own station upgrade modules like fabrication, recycling, and dry dock base, and all other offensive and defensive upgrades from your previous save, so you get a strong start. Now let's go over the things that aren't automatically transferred between galaxies and that you likely want to bring to another galaxy. If you could bring with you your millions or billions of colonists that feed you taxes, it would be pretty nice. But the technology isn't quite there yet. You can, however, recover and bring in all your resource extractors by using an extractor recovery module. Just buy these at an industrial station, fly over a planet, and use it. You can do this either flying your ship using WAZDA, or you can just use the sensor, select your green planets, press V for autopilot, then use the modules when you're over the planets. This can take some time if you have too many extractors in too many systems, but it could save you millions, as dune miners can be seen as expensive for a long time, and if you spend time upgrading to Mark IV drills rather than buying them, it can save you all the time and resources to grab those before leaving. Make sure to remember to grab all your loot from all your space stations and from NPC stations. You can use the tips from the previous cargo section if this gets tricky. It can be hard to remember where you've dumped the loot, so make sure to use map markers for that. Maybe we can get a ledger or a storage manifest one day that lists all stations in the current galaxy where you have items stored and how much fees you're paying for that storage. If you have your own stations, you should probably bring all their gear and upgrade modules with you. Station modules can cost a lot in terms of resources and crafting, so definitely grab those. How stations behave and are constructed will be undergoing changes on the next version, but they cannot be repackaged or moved. Don't ask me why though, the dev's just a weirdo. Another quick grab are deployables. You can scoop up defense platforms and even deploy jump gates by pressing the item scooping key, Default C. While I'd leave low-level defense platforms behind, you can reuse high-level ones on the new galaxy to protect your starting territories. Can be worth to check if you can condense those into more powerful versions on the fabrication and construction screens. Those upgraded versions are more recent additions. Finally, if you have any excess ships in your fleet or in your cargo holds, you can place those in the Drydock for easier handling between saves. Just remember to have some money in the bank before transferring saves to pay for the Drydock establishment fee. Alright, you've got the idea. Store everything that isn't nailed down, stuff everything into your fleet's cargo, and bring as much of your hard-earned loot as possible to your next galaxy. Don't die while having a bunch of loot pinatas in your fleet. Good luck in your next adventure, and like and subscribe for more space game content. Bye bye.